Hey everybody, welcome to a Monday morning edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder, sitting here with Fig and Talent, two comics who you guys know have been in the comedy business for a long time. They've been in comedy commercials, comedy films, comedy shows, stand-up comedy performances. They've been in everything related to comedy, and now they're in something that's sports, and this sports show is related to comedy. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Before I jump into it, guys, how was your weekend? Hope you guys had a great weekend.
My weekend was better than Fig, guaranteed.
Yeah, we saw your pictures on social media.
How you figure that? Your weekend was better than mine. No, the hell it wasn't.
He had a single man's weekend, so we won't even go into all that. We won't go into that on this show. This is a family show. Anyway, let's get ready to talk about some things. We got to talk about the NFL, and most importantly, we got to then hopefully get into the show to talk about some NBA, because there's a lot of NBA transactions that happened since we were on there. When we were on the air Friday, but let's talk about the NFL first, because there was some NFL week, games happened yesterday, last night, some surprises. I think the biggest thing that jumped out to me off the top of my, of course, my computer was that two things. One, Pittsburgh is 10-0, and two, Green Bay actually came back and they were fighting the game and they lost that game that I thought they were going to win. As a matter of fact, I'll say three. I'll even say Kansas City squeaked by the Raiders and the Raiders could have had that game. So let's talk about Pittsburgh first. Talent. Do you think Pittsburgh is going to run the table, or do you think Pittsburgh is going to end up saying, they're going to end up getting a blooper and maybe ship some of their guys out the last week or two, because they might be able to afford that if Kansas City loses more and more games? You know what I mean? Right now, if you all recall, let me just say this for the record. It's not in this year, starting this year, there will not be two teams. The 1 and 2 spots will not get the weekend. Only the top seed gets the first weekend off. So separates the top to the second seed is right now, and the AFC is one game, between Pittsburgh and Kansas City. So right. I say that to you, Talent. Do you think Pittsburgh is going to run the table because they have to? Obviously, they got Kansas City right on their heels. Or do you think they're going to sit there and say, we don't care about running the table, we're just going to win what we can win? You know what I mean?
Well, I think they're going to just win what they can, win. Mike as a head coach, he's very methodic. I don't think they're, I think they know that they're blessed to be 10-0. And he's very methodic. So I don't think it's going to be like we're going to run the table thing and worry about that. I think they're just taking it one game at a time. You could tell how they're playing. They're methodically beating teams, and I'm finally going to come around and say they are the real deal. Okay.
So you think that Pittsburgh's really the real deal? Okay. Fig, make sure you write that on your pad. Say that Talent said, how you write your notes, make sure you write the Talent said the Pittsburgh Steelers the real deal. Because when I get into an argument with him, I don't want to, I don't want to be me and you against him. So anyway, Fig, what you think? You think Pittsburgh?
Listen, they're undefeated. They gotta be the real deal.
They're the real deal.
They gotta be, man. And it's not like they're just beating fluke teams. You know what I mean? They beating some contenders and stuff like that, man. I didn't see it coming, man. I'm be the first one to say I was wrong. I was talking about Ben Roethlisberger, called in the fat burger, and that I didn't trust him and stuff like that. But Ben has come out reinvigorated and he showed me something different, man. Ben is playing really good, and it seems like he's taking off a little bit of that pudge, man. Yeah. I need to know who's Ben Chef is and what diet plan is he on, because he's getting it together.
We're going to get to that chef part a little bit later in the show. How about that? We'll get to that later in the show. Let's jump into now the Kansas City game. Now, I'm sure we watched the game, and if you didn't watch the game, Kansas City was basically in a run for their life the entire game. But when the Raiders ended up scoring, they left too much time on the clock. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes came down and got through 75 yards with like less than a minute to go. And, of course, Kansas City came back to win. But my question to you, Talent, is should Kansas City be right now concerned about seeing the Raiders in the playoffs? Because as we know, the Raiders already beat them once, and the Kansas City Chiefs barely beat them yesterday. And right now, it seems like the Raiders are built to beat the Chiefs more than any team in the NFL. It seems like the Raiders are specifically built to beat the Chiefs. What you think?
I don't think so. I think Mahomes shows us that when the pressure's intensified, he gets intensified. So I think it's going to be like that later down the line. I think when we come up on the playoffs and it's on the line, I ain't too many quarterbacks. I think it's 3 quarterbacks in this league that I see that can raise the level of intensity as the game goes. As the level of intensity goes, that they can come to the rise to that level. He played like Aaron Rodgers yesterday. He was like a young Aaron Rodgers. You know, as the level got on, they got desperate in that fourth quarter. He manned that comeback, man. I tell you, I've seen some remnants of Joe Montana with that 2-minute drill. You know what I mean?
All right, listen, I'll put you up there with that. I get that, but I'm gonna throw the Fig and say, Fig. Even though Patrick Mahomes played like he balled, Derek Carr balled yesterday too. I didn't even know who that was in that black, that silver and black. So I guess the same question will go to you, Fig. Were you surprised? And when you see how the Oakland came, do you think Oakland can really topple them, or do you think Kansas City ain't worried about the Raiders? What you think?
I'm not sure if they're worried about them. I think the first game they overlooked them. And this time they was like, okay, you know, these guys come to play, whatever, and stuff like that. They did that whole little drive around the stadium with the victory lap type thing. And I think Kansas City was like, okay, all right. That's the way you feel about it? All right. We're going to see you again. The one thing that I'm concerned about is KC, man, that defense, man, they can't stop a nosebleed. If it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes, straight loss, baby.
Okay, all right. Now I want to keep this conversation moving on with football because in 3 minutes I want to bring in our guest and talk about some NBA. I see him sitting there. The Baltimore Ravens Tennessee Titans game. The Baltimore Ravens seemed like they had a game before the game, with all the argument and almost a big match before the game that broke out between a couple of players and the coach. But the game seemed to be like a game that it could be one of those things that these two teams are going to be in the AFC for a long time. But Tennessee ended up pulling out the game. Des Bryant did play well for the Baltimore Ravens. My question to you, Town, is the Baltimore Ravens going in the wrong direction and the Tennessee Titans going in the right direction? Or do you think maybe that was just a fluke? That was a fluke game.
No, I definitely feel that. That is definitely the sign that we're getting right now. The Ravens, and I think you brought that up a couple of weeks ago too, Frank. They seem to be trending in the wrong direction. And I don't know what that is. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe they read their own press clippings. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you read your own press clippings, you start to play what people say instead of doing what you're supposed to do. So maybe they're playing into that super quarterback thing and just thinking like we're going to go out there and he's going to will a win. You know what I mean? Instead of playing on all facets of the ball, like special teams and stuff like that. And I'm with Fig too. I'm watching a lot of sloppy defensive play out. It seemed like this year in the NFL, I mean, blame it on COVID if you want to, but it seemed like this year, everybody's just like whoever put the most points up. Like nobody's stopping nobody.
Right. Well, I'll say this before I throw it to Fig. Baltimore ain't got no running game because their offensive line is not tackling. They have no outside threat, which is the reason why they got Des Bryant. They don't even look like they're the same team that they were last year at all. They only lost 2 or 3 people, but it looks like it's a complete different team. But hey, Fig, what's your thoughts on when you see how Baltimore played and how? I think that's their 3rd loss in a row. Maybe their 2nd. They lost to the Patriots last week. They lost yesterday. That's definitely two L's in a row. So what's your thought, Fig? Baltimore going in the wrong direction?
Well, first off, I like to tell talent this is how you put your finger on it, right here. No, man, listen. I don't think they're going in the wrong direction, man. First off, let me just say this: when Tennessee Titans came out and they stood on the logo, it should have been a fight. Every single. I would have made the refs cancel that game because every time I stepped on the field, I'd have been face masking somebody. I would have been bashing somebody in the face. They would have threw the whole team out. The whole team, offense, defense, special teams, they all should have ran out there and there should have been a big brawl at the beginning of that game and had the refs call the whole thing off. The coach, Harbaugh, should have not been the only one out there upset with the Tennessee Titans coming out there and standing on the logo. You don't let somebody come to your house and disrespect you like that. That's like somebody coming to where you live and taking a crap in your kitchen. You don't allow that to happen.
That's shades of Sarah Owens doing something like that. If I can remember right.
I'm questioning the mentality of the Baltimore Ravens because That's not the Baltimore Ravens that we know from before.
Yeah, right.
That's not the old Baltimore Ravens. That's not that mentality. You're not doing that with Ray Lewis and the boys. You're not doing it. They wouldn't even have thought about doing that if Ray Lewis and the boys was on that team. I don't know what team that is, man, and they needed to get it together. They need to get their mind together. They have the skills, but they need to get that mentality together because I don't see Baltimore Ravens out there.
Okay. All right, look, we got to keep the conversation moving on. I want to talk about the NBA, but before I jump in talking about the NBA, let me bring in our guest today. He's an actor, he's a producer, he's a director, he's a writer. I'm sure you've seen him before. His name is Anthony Hall, aka. Well, I don't even have to tell you what his AKA. He's sitting right there on the screen.
Chicago.
Thank you, Anthony. We appreciate you for joining the show. He's been in movies such as Blue Chip, Sunset Park, Players Ball. Listen, his resume, I ain't got time to read his resume. We only got an hour in the show. So, Ant, how you doing? How you doing, bro?
I don't recognize him.
That's all right. That's all right. Let him look it up. Man, let me ask you, man.
Google me.
Let me ask you the first question. I want to jump off the paper and ask you the first question, especially since you're in LA. How is LA, the city of LA right now, feeling that now they won the NBA championship? And today, this morning, when you wake up, they signed Marc Gasol, they re-signed Caldwell Pope, and of course, they got Montrezl Harrell. I'm sure everybody in LA land is thinking, okay, we're getting ready to run this again. What's your thought?
I've been hearing two-peat all for the last couple of days. Two-peat. I'm like, that's that one. So y'all might want to chill out. I just think playing in that bubble was totally just different than playing an NBA season. It was kind of like playing AAU basketball to me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I mean, there are no fans. There's no, home court advantage and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's the same location. They walk in kumbaya together.
He's breaking up.
It's kind of, they didn't even have to get on the bus to get to the gym. It was like basketball.
Right. I can't even dispute anything he just said because he's telling the truth. Channel, you got a question for my man?
Yeah, man. What's up, Shot? How you doing, Chicago?
What's up, baby?
Ain't nothing, man. So here's the thing, man. So you're talking about two-peat now. I think that they're not the only team stacking up, right? Mm-hmm. So because everybody's stacking up right now, who would be those top 2 or 3 teams that they're going to have to beat to come out of the West again? Because I don't think it's an easy path back to the chip. I just don't. I see it being tough.
Jersey's going to be fire. And I mean, if Sack didn't lose fucking our man with this recent injury, they will be fired too.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Golden State?
Yeah.
Golden State, Klay Thompson.
If they go down, they will be a problem too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Who else? Man, there's more. No, they not the top. They're not the front runners.
Right.
Runners. I mean, I mean, throw Milwaukee in there because I think they're gonna get a few pieces that's gonna make some noise.
I actually think myself. I think the Clippers are gonna get it together.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I don't know why I skipped right over the Clippers. Clippers is gonna be all right.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get it together.
Since the Clippers signed Serge Ibaka Friday, I think they're gonna be all right too.
Right now, Tyler, he understands this Lakers offense and what they're doing, what their scheme is over there. Tyler he gonna bring some pieces in there to make some noise.
Okay, Fig, you got a question for me, man?
Yeah, man, I'm listening. I know you in LA. We talking about the Lakers and stuff like that. I need to know. Give me the inside scoop on Chicago. Yo, let me hear about Chi-Town. What do you think about Chi-Town?
The Bulls?
The Bulls,
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yo, wait, I gotta go get something, bro. I was about to dip out on this conversation, son. I was gonna ask you, who plays for the Bulls right now?
Yo, that's crazy.
All of us play for the Bulls right now. We just
I'm repping my boy here. This is my Chicago right here. I'm repping my boy here. That's it.
Okay.
That's Benji.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this, man.
Benji is. I need to educate you who Benji is.
Okay, we ain't got enough time in the show. If we add a bonus, we'll let you educate us. But let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you this. Who is the surprise team that you see will probably be coming out, whether it's the East or the West, that nobody will see coming, that they quietly adding pieces? I'll go throw it out there and say that I think literally we might see a run by the Miami Heat coming there again, and that people are expecting them to come in because the pieces they're adding. That's what I think Miami's going to make a nice little run again. And ain't nobody even paying attention to Miami. Everybody's paying attention to New Jersey. Everybody's paying attention to Philly. Some people even talking about Milwaukee. Nobody's even having a conversation about Miami. That's my team. Who you think?
You know what? Because I definitely see Philly. Because I mean, even though Dwight Howard likes to play around a lot, I think he was still helpful during the season. Probably not during the playoffs. But he's going to be Miami, without question. They get a couple of
right.
I don't know how to put pieces together. Never
right.
Because he's just like, in sack. Some of those never heard of before, and then all of a sudden, like, yo, he a star? So yeah, I see that Miami joint for sure.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Frank. I think we're sleeping on Denver coming back with a vengeance, and I think we're sleeping on Phoenix coming back.
I don't think nobody's sleeping on Denver no more though.
Yeah, I think Denver. I think people think, because like you just said earlier about the bubble, I think people think a lot of that stuff's a fluke.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Phil, you got a question for him?
I agree.
Yeah, I listen, man. I'm not gonna ask you no more Chicago questions because as a Knicks fan, I feel your pain.
Yeah, I feel
But listen, man. Let me ask you this. I know we talked about a lot of teams and stuff like that. Quiet is kept. I think Dallas is making some moves, you know what I mean, with the pieces they got over there. What do you think about them challenging the Lakers?
Yo, I like Dallas. Again, my boy said Ceballos is over there now working with them. So, I really need Dallas. I think they definitely have pieces to make some noise over there too. You know what? I think the NBA is just it's still going to be the same. Not the same when they're playing in a bubble, but it's going to be still questionable because there won't be fans. There won't be that. They're going to be going to city to city, but there's still going to be that element that's missing, that sixth man that's missing. So anybody can come out of this joint, bro.
Right.
No fans this season, this upcoming season, because of the Corona stuff. So it's still going to be questionable for a lot. It's a lot of teams go slide through there and win some basketball games.
Okay. Let me ask you this, man. Since Chicago, let me ask you this. Since we know you have a lot of people who you deal with in the NBA, players versus ex-players and everything else, what's the conversations been about amongst them and in y'all conversations, if you could say, what's the conversations been about Gordon Hayward signing this huge, ridiculous contract? Now, I'm gonna throw it out there and say, I think Jordan is basically signing him. He got that draft pick with Carl Anthony's son. I think they're doing it to fill the seats, because if they could even have seats, and just to get attention to the team. I don't necessarily think it's a bad move. I don't know if I would have paid that much money for Gordon Hayward, but what's the thoughts and the conversations been about in your circles about the Gordon Hayward contract?
There hasn't been any conversations about that move, and I actually agree with you in regards to how he got that monies. Because there just hasn't been. If there have been conversations, I would have told it, because I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that conversations about that and stuff. But I agree with you in regards to how he got that money and why he got that money. I agree.
Nobody cares about Gordon Hayward. Only Gordon Hayward cares about this shit.
Right. We talk about what the bald kid and stuff like that. But we ain't really talking. And my boy Kenyon Martin, his son got drafted, but he won the second round at number 52. So we talk about those things that we know.
Right.
Talk about those kids. NBA draft. So it's not.
Well, you know, Gordon Hayward don't even look like an NBA player. He looked like a new member of like New Kids on the Block. He looked like he about to start a boy band. The dude's hair stays slick during an NBA game.
But let me ask you this, man. Do you think overall with the whole, like you said, no six fan and stuff like that with the crowd and stuff like that, do you think that the NBA is like this year in particular, since everybody is going to start from ground one, do you think it'll be more competitive? Because, you know, in years past, they got these super teams and everybody like, okay, Golden State's going to win, or Cleveland's going to win, or LeBron James' team is going to win. Now without that six man and the fans jumping on you, do you think it's more competitive?
I think the stars are going to be the stars. They're going to do
right.
He's sticking.
Yeah. Right after he got to the good part. Right at the good part.
Can you repeat that? He was sticking.
No.
Right at the good part. And the killer
I kind of agree with Shaquille.
He's
sticking again.
All right. So
I'm getting lost.
You're going in and out.
You get me?
Yeah, hear you now.
Put some money on your Wi-Fi. Put some more money on the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
That's that prepaid Wi-Fi.
I agree with what
Pop him out. Pop him out, man. He ran out of money on the Wi-Fi.
Taylor said, put some money on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, pop out, bro. Pop out, pop. Yeah, you all messed up. First, your Wi-Fi is so bad, it's showing somebody else's house. It got so bad. It got so bad. It went to somebody's kitchen.
we was getting a drone view.
Somebody prepared Thanksgiving dinner.
Hey, Chicago, I want you to know they cracking on your Wi-Fi, bro.
Yeah. Every time he tried to say the important part, and keep going out on the important part. You was like, and the killer is. You frozen again.
He might have to go to the other room.
We already in the other room. We in the other house.
You're still messing up.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you, fam. We appreciate you, man. Anthony C. Hall, my man, Black Shy's in the building, man. Sorry it got chopping up at the end and everything.
Is it chopping up now?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see if we can come back. Okay.
Hold on. It might be good. Are you on a roof?
No.
Yeah, then it's still messing up then.
Hey, Chicago, tell me what you got going on. How can we find you? How can we follow you? And we appreciate you joining the show. How can we tell everybody out there what you got going on?
Tell y'all nothing because it's gonna chop up anyway and shit. Talent's gonna clown me. Both of y'all, I see y'all really clowning me over there. I hear y'all.
It's going good right now. It's going. Keep talking. It's going good.
Oh, it's good? Yo, because I want to answer that question he had.
Go ahead.
I think that the difference is the stars are going to be the stars this year.
Right.
They're not going to be any different. But what's going to make the difference of that league, especially with doing this COVID, is the others, the guys on the bench and all that kind of stuff. Those guys don't have the pressures of playing in front of those fans, calling them names.
I said that. Yeah.
So if those guys step up, it's just going to be the league is wide open for anybody to win.
I said that. Yeah. I agree. I had said that when the bubble first started. I said, yo, I said you got two kind of players. You got players that thrive with crowds, and that's their thing, and you got players that play better at practice because crowds make them introvert. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. Without the crowd, those extra pieces are going to have a chance to shine. You're right.
Yeah, but Chicago, you were saying something that Shaq said. You said it twice, and you got cut off twice. So what did Shaq say?
That's what Shaquille was saying. He was talking about, like, if it was Shaquille and Kobe and those guys, Robert Horry, those guys are going to be who they are. That's what he's saying.
Right.
It's the guys on the bench who they won't have that pressure of getting on their ass, screaming on them, ringing bells behind their head and all that kind of stuff. Those guys don't zone out. Those guys are more focused because they don't have the pressure of that audience in their they can just play fucking basketball. And it's that one team that has those guys that can become stars during that time, only for that time, because as soon as the fans come back in, they're gonna lose it. But while they don't have those fans, it's those guys who's gonna make a difference. So that's why I think the league is just wide open.
Yeah, I like that because I think that's how Phoenix went 8-0 in the bubble.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's no pressure of the fans and all that kind of. There's zero.
Right. Well, so Chicago, tell everybody what you got going on. I know you got something cooking. I know you in the lab doing something. What you got going on?
Sitting here just chilling. I was trying to. I was focusing on doing this movie, this Ben Wilson movie that I talked about earlier, that I touched on earlier. Quick, Ben Wilson was a high school phenom in Chicago in '83. He was the #1 basketball player in the nation. They did a 30 for 34 and ESPN, and he was killed in the senior year after becoming a basketball player in the nation. And so he was a high school friend of mine in high school, and he was probably one of the few people I saw right before I got ran out of Chicago. Mm-hmm. That's another story, but so I'm working on that, and I'm working on a few things with my boy Devon Shepard, and I was talking to Russell Peters about doing a film project. So, and that's Talent's boy, comedian friend, and so yeah, without question, I'm throwing some stuff out there, man. Trying to make some shit stick.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. Well, we look forward to you, man.
Yeah.
Keep banging, brother. So, next year, we're gonna be doing something big because 25th anniversary, Sunset Park, baby. We got to get it in.
Yo, do something. Yo, we got to get in contact with Rhea and them and tell them, like, hey, why don't we do something? Because it's still following out there for that movie.
Yeah, I think we can do that. I think I got to connect to get in touch with them. You know what I mean? Go through Seth. Yeah, 25th anniversary. We got to do something big.
That'd be dope. That'd definitely be dope.
It's time to get live.
Time to represent.
Chicago, tell everybody out there how they can follow you. I can't hear you.
What's your social media?
Oh, my social media is Anthony Hall _Chicago is my Instagram. And check me out on TikTok at Blue Chips 44. I don't know.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, fam.
Thank you for taking the time, bro.
It was fun talking to you guys, man. Let's do it again.
Thanks, bro.
All right. I'm gonna overnight you a router.
Thank you.
Hey, but I see you get in Chicago. When I see you get in LA, I'll make sure I got some more pictures for you, bro, because I ain't seen you in a minute. So we'll talk.
Let's do it.
All right. Y'all, take care. Talk to you. All right, y'all. That was Anthony C. Hall, writer, director, producer. Did everything as you could think of in the Hollywood game and everything else. And we were having a conversation about the NFL before he jumped in. We were talking about the NBA. But I want to pick up on some of the stuff that he talked about when we could hear him. And, I got to go back to the Lakers. Because I ain't gonna crack on my man's Wi-Fi. But I will say about this. Ken, let me ask you this, man, because we asked him, what's your thoughts when you woke up this morning saying, dag on, the Lakers got they got a boat right now. They got some great additions to their team. You know what I mean? They honestly, I know we were talking about Golden State. I know we talked about a couple other teams, but the way I think the pieces they lost were worse than the pieces they just gained. if that makes sense to you. You know what I mean? I think they got better additions to their team.
Who they
Well,
get other than Pau Gasol?
I mean, yeah.
They got Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol, re-signed Caldwell Pope, and the dark-skinned kid from Oklahoma City. I forgot his name now, but you know they got a boat. So
And who do we know for a fact that they're losing?
Oh,
that we can
they lost Dwight Howard,
mm-hmm.
Avery Bradley, Rondo,
JaVale
McGee, and it's still up in the air about maybe 2 or 3 more other players because right now they're working on some contracts. But right now, those are the definite ones we know they lost. So I'm saying
I don't know. I think it can be considered kind of lateral. I don't think it's a great like they came up and this was worse than that. I think it's kind of lateral. But again, the game ain't done yet. It ain't over yet. But right now, I think it's lateral.
All right. I would just say right now for the record, I completely disagree because Montrezl Harrell is better than Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee and Marc Gasol is better than Marc Gasol is a slight improvement more than JaVale McGee. So I think they in those 2 pieces right there with already Anthony Davis that they got, you can't tell me they didn't get bigger. You know what I mean?
I don't think they bigger maybe, but not better.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I give you bigger, but I'm not gonna give you better because Marc Gasol ain't Marc Gasol from 4 seasons ago.
Right.
So that's first of all. Second of all, Rondo to Schroeder. You know I love me some Schroeder. Right. Other than a couple of little years of age on the legs, that's lateral. You know, they're going to do the same thing. They're floor generals. They're good point guards that can score when they need to. And then you got 2 dudes that you're trying to put Montrose with. Is he as good as both the other 2 dudes you named? I don't know. I think it's lateral. I think bigger I'll give you. But better, I don't know yet. Because and we got to keep in mind, it's not done yet. So they may lose more than you think they're going to lose. We don't know. Or they may bring in more than we know they're going to bring in. But I will say this, nothing surprises me because LeBron's been manufacturing these teams since championship number 1.
Okay. All right. Now, I'll throw it to you, Fig, and you tell me whether you agree with me or you agree with him. I want to hear this. What do you think? Did they get better, they stay the same, or they got worse?
Where you need a big man, I think they may have got worse because Pau Gasol doesn't have the lateral movement of a JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard. He's better offensively, but I wouldn't say that he's better defensively. And we saw the trouble that Montrezl Harrell had playing the center position, and Anthony Davis doesn't want to play center. He wants to be a forward. And I can't say that Schroeder is an upgrade from playoff Rondo.
Right. It's the same.
So I mean, during the regular season, Schroeder may be better. But playoff Rondo, that's another animal. That's a different dude. Rondo was the 3rd best player on that team behind LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So I don't see his impact being replaced with Schroeder. So I mean, you take all things into consideration. I think it was pretty even. I think they stayed packed.
See what I'm saying, Frank? First of all, that's the wrong question to ask, Frank. The real question is when Anthony was just on the show, the picture he had behind him, is that a better picture than Fig's painting? I don't think so. I think Fig's painting is way better than Anthony's painting. Now,
and my Wi-Fi is better.
I was about to say. Now, when his Wi-Fi clicked, that lady's painting in the kitchen, that was nice.
Yeah.
Well, when his Wi-Fi acted up, some stuff started missing in my house, so we'll figure that out later. I'm like, yo, what happened? Oh, okay. And now I see it pop up in his room.
He got a time machine. What?
See, y'all are going the wrong way, man. That's not what we're supposed to be talking about.
That was so funny, man. That was so. And you know what's funny, Frank? For some reason today, Frank had patience. Like normally, Frank ain't got patience for that shit. Frank was sitting there going, "All right, okay, all right, brother man, Can't hear you. You freeze. Come on. Like Frank usually like cut that shit off.
He cut him off automatically. But then he do like this. He said he was talking, and all of a sudden be like,
yeah. But I mean, all jokes aside, Frank, it's I think it's like, and it's not a disrespect. I'm not trying to say that's the whole point. Is that I can't say it's better or worse. That means you're sitting in the middle, kind of like a fair exchange. And like say Schroeder, for instance, right? Again, you're gaining a little mileage, less mileage on the legs. However, like Fig said, playoff Rondo, the reason why you love a Rondo is his decision making. So this guy right here, one thing about Schroeder, he got game galore. You can't even question that. However, when you know how LeBron gets when the game's on the line, I don't know if it's just me, but it seemed like Bron want to smack the hell out of somebody if they make a bad decision, right? It looked like if they make a bad decision. Like, did you see the shade when Danny Green missed that three? When he missed that big three, and first of all, he fumbles the pass and picks it up dead on. Everybody knows Danny Green don't shoot dead on. He's an angle shooter. That dead on is not his shot. So when he missed that, the shade from LeBron. So I say that to say Rondo damn near always going to make a good decision. Every blue moon, you'll see Rondo like miscalculating and miss somebody with a pass and he brought it bounce. You know what I mean? You ain't seeing a whole bunch of people stealing the ball from him.
That's
right. And he steals the ball. Rondo's good on defense, man. He had a lot of steals.
Yeah, but you're not stealing from him, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know, you man, something about playoff Rondo this last year in the bubble, man. What did he shoot? Like 90% from three? It's like every time he put a three up, he couldn't miss.
Not only that,
who is this dude?
Not only that, it's like he's literally like a coach on the floor when he's playing. Like, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Schroeder doesn't bring that.
So in that case, let's say we give the edge to Rondo there, right? Let's say we Gasol. I hate to say it, but watching him the last two seasons, he's not the big deal Gasol we used to talk about. We used to talk about Marc Gasol like crazy, and the last two seasons it seemed like, it's like he's just a solid player.
All right, let me ask you this, Fig, because I want to keep this show going on. Let me ask you this, Fig. Jay Crowder leaving the Heat, he signed with the Suns. Now you got Jay Crowder with the Suns, right? You got a Booker with the Suns, and we already know how good the team already is. And didn't the Suns sign CP3? Didn't they sign him? So no, CP3. Yeah.
They
So
got Chris Paul. Yes.
Yeah. So you see where I'm going with this? With the Suns is looking like they, I don't know if they're going to be an 8th playoff seed spot. I think they might, by the addition of Jay Crowder, get his 3-point shooting and his banging down low when he wants to. I think the Suns are going to surprise some people. Also, I think they might move up to the 7th or 6th seed. I think they.
But that's what I said. That's what I said. When you asked surprise teams, I gave you the Suns and Denver. I said because I think those two teams people are looking at like flukish.
Yeah.
And I think how easily forgotten. I think they're easily forgotten, and I think it's going to take halfway through this next season. People are going to go start scratching like, hold up, because the Suns. They doing some sneaky stuff right now. They're doing sneaky moves. And you're going to wake up. They already was good. You're going to wake up and be like, oh, he's on. They got, how many times you do that every time when the NBA season starts? You just see somebody come out, you go, they got him?
Yeah.
It's going to be like that.
Yeah. What you think, Fig?
I love Jay Crowder, man. Jay Crowder reminds me of a Montrezl Harrell type. He's energetic. Good on defense, rebounds, and Jay Crowder could shoot too. An enforcer. Then you got Chris Paul, floor general, Devin Booker, knockdown. And here's the thing: I think people are sleeping on this kid, Ayton, the center, because I mean he was new, he was young and stuff like that. But I think this kid is getting better and better. I always say those one and dones take about 3 years before they come into their man legs and their man game. He's right at that point. If this kid takes a step forward, we know Devin Booker is just an all-world player. I don't think nobody gonna want to see Monty Williams coach Phoenix Suns. You know what I mean? They coming back, man. Them players make them really relevant and it would not surprise me with the loss of Klay Thompson in Golden State. It wouldn't surprise me if Phoenix ends up in the 4 or 5 spot in the West.
Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me at all.
It wouldn't surprise me either. Let me ask you this, talent. Gordon Hayward signed. We talked about it a minute ago. We asked Chicago, but Gordon Hayward, when he signed this contract, we ourselves discussed this over the weekend amongst ourselves. I think that contract was horrible, but I'll say on the record, I think Michael Jordan did that basically to put some butts in the seats and basically bring attention to the team so people can pay attention to the team, watch the team, TV revenue, all that. I don't think it necessarily was a bad move, but it ain't the best move either. What's your thought?
I think it was a horrible move.
Okay.
I think, and I hate to say it, but Gordon Hayward's not that guy. Mm-hmm. Like, if I want to make a splash just to get some attention, do some numbers, whether it's TV ratings, whether it's asses in the seats, I don't see it with that guy. You know what I mean? I go grab me a free agent that's going to make some splash. Like, Gordon Hayward's not a splash maker to me, especially in that market. Mm-hmm. Like, it ain't like you're a team that, you talk about these teams that's 1 or 2 pieces away, then that's news. But to a team that looks like they really need more stuff, like, it's not a splash. If he came with somebody else, you could go, Gordon Hayward and so-and-so, like, they making moves. But him by himself, it doesn't make noise to me. Doesn't resonate with my ear, doesn't attract me, doesn't make me turn my dial or nothing like that. He's just like, he's basic.
This is one of those things. This is one of those things where you're right and I'm right. And I'm gonna tell you why. I think Fig. I'm gonna throw this to you, Fig. I think Jordan was trying to get a star, no matter what it is, because every NBA team wants to have at least one star in their market so they can sell tickets. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he was trying to do: get that one star and then possibly build from around that. I don't think he knew he was doing it. He just wanted to make sure he had a star for 4 years. You know what I mean? And he wasn't going nowhere. So I don't know. What you think, Fig? I mean, because I know when you heard the contract, you was like, "That's horrible. That's horrible." Because I know I said that was horrible. But
yeah, man, what is it? It's $30 million a year for Gordon Hayward. Man, it's kind of scary. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Gordon Hayward. The only thing I could think of is maybe Gordon Hayward on the team is a piece to attract maybe another player or two. That's the only thing I can think of, because I can't imagine. Gordon Hayward, his last couple of years, he was injury prone. I mean, he played all right. You know what I mean? He played decent. I wouldn't say, I'm not calling him a scrub or one of the others. He's not a bum. He's definitely, he's star caliber. And I don't know about filling the seats in COVID either. So it can't be that. Maybe it's TV revenue, and maybe Gordon Hayward's name attracts another player of Gordon Hayward's caliber, then make them relevant because they're in the East.
But you got to look at it like this. Right now, you're right. For COVID, yeah, you're right. But it's 4 years, guaranteed contract, 4 years. So COVID will be ended up by that time. And he's looking at listen, I don't know, man. I was thinking that 4 years, he's thinking down the line, maybe he might attract another star or two. Maybe Charlotte might be able to make some kind of noise. But we all know Charlotte is not a market where NBA players want to go. It's just not that market. It's too small. So I don't know. Let me ask you this.
I like Charlotte.
Okay. When you heard the news that Serge Ibaka signed with the Clippers, talent, did you think that he's going to be the piece that's going to help them when they lost Montrezl Harrell? Do you think that he's going to be the piece to help them get over, or that was just another lateral move for the Clippers? What you think when you heard that?
I like Charlotte. It sounded like an autistic outburst or something. I don't know. It came out of nowhere. I like Charlotte. I like chocolate. Here's the thing. I do. I think that's a great piece. And let me tell you something, man. I think that team, no matter what they do, is going to be a force to reckon with because they are embarrassed. Mm-hmm. I think they are the most embarrassed team, barring Milwaukee. I think those are the 2 most embarrassed teams from this past season, this past playoffs, as expectations go. And I think they're going to be a force to reckon with. So when they add these little pieces, it mounting up and mounting up. We've been talking all this smack for the last couple of months that Paul George is going over here. Ain't been no movement. Mm-hmm. Ain't been no movement over there. No more rumors or nothing the past month. Everybody, all them rumors, they had Paul George going to play for the Mighty Ducks. He's going everywhere. They had him going everywhere. No movement. And your only movement is you bring in Serge.
And you lose Montrell. You lose Montrell Harrell. So what you think, Vic?
I think Serge Ibaka is an upgrade from Montrezl Harrell, man. Serge Ibaka is he's a knockdown 3-point shooter. He plays defense. He's long.
He's a dog.
He can block. He's a dog. He can block shots. I think Serge Ibaka. I mean, he's a little long in the tooth. You know what I mean? He's not a young kid no more. But last year he had a nice little game to him. He's knocking down, and he really can knock down that 3-pointer at a high clip. He stretches the floor, and he can play the paint. He's not one of those bigs that is allergic to playing in the paint. You know, so I like him, man. I like him. I don't know who they're getting as their floor general. Is Lou Williams still there? Lou Williams didn't leave, right?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Man, listen, if Lou Williams could throw lobs to Montrezl Harrell, he damn sure could throw some lobs to Serge Ibaka. I think they got better.
Ain't that true? And guess what? His Wi-Fi still works.
Big sound like a teacher, the PTA man. No, he does all his homework. He gets along well in class. He's never late. He's never late.
He's on time. That's true.
Serge is on time every day.
And he gives me his apples like he's supposed to. Let me ask you this, man. Tristan Thompson decided to deal with the Celtics. I hated it. I'm gonna be on the record saying I hated it. The Celtics did need a big man, but I was like, not that dude. I was like,
who did they get?
Tristan Thompson from the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yo, that's not a bad move, Frank.
That's good.
That's not a bad move.
I don't like it. I thought he was a bum with Cleveland. I think he's a bum now.
What? A bum?
I don't know.
I think he's a bum. He listen.
Wow.
He can rebound. I'm not saying he can't rebound, but I thought he was a bum in Cleveland. I just don't see it.
Yo, man,
Frank, think of the possibilities. The Kardashians are coming to town.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going with it. Could you see a Kardashian in Boston? Come on, man. That do a lot for race relations.
I was about they might fix things.
No, they won't. They won't. Well, so you think Tal, you're gonna go on record right now. You think that Tristan Thompson is a good addition to the Boston Celtics? You're gonna say that on the record?
I will go on record and say that. Let me tell you why. Let me back up my feeling about this. I think that let's go back to early Tristan. Early Tristan, you can't front. Super dope. Then he gets with Bron. You know what I mean? It raises his level of play. Then Bron leaves, and now he goes back to this. They're in this purgatory of a team, so we forget about them. I think going to Boston, you know how this works with basketball players. When you give them new air, new cities, if they already had the capabilities and the skills, they shine, man. Look at Kemba. Kemba went out there, man. Kemba loved. He came and was making noise all year long. I mean, he had his moments of disappearing acts in the playoffs when it counted, but the regular season, he was happy to be somewhere else, and he came and showed and proved. That's what's going to happen with Tristan. I would go on record and say that.
Well, Kemba Walker was hurt and he was injured. He played through that injury the entire playoffs. He didn't complain.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Kemba Walker was injured in the playoffs, and I think that's why some of his game fell off during the playoffs. But I'll tell you this, man. Listen, here's the thing about Boston. You guys don't need shooters. You guys don't need playmakers. What you need is a force in the paint, a defender, somebody to rebound. You basically need a glorified Rondo. And he's better. I didn't mean Rondo. Rodman. A Dennis Rodman. That's what you need. You need a guy like a Dennis Rodman, somebody's gonna play defense, get rebounds, block shots, and just be an energy guy. And that's what Tristan Thompson is. You got all the other pieces.
That's what the Kardashians bring. The Kardashians gonna bring all that energy.
Well, right? I'll say this for the record. We'll see how good he is because the spotlight won't be on him because he signed a 2-year agreement. He came to the Celtics and Gordon Hayward left. I think the Celtics are still right in the same. I don't think they got better. I don't think they got worse. You know what I mean?
don't agree
Gordon
with that.
Hayward is
I
in
don't
the
agree with that.
way. Gordon Hayward is in the way. You got too many Gordon Haywards.
No. I was happy to see him go. I'm not saying I was happy to see him go. I'm like,
I think Gordon Hayward was in the way because you already had guys at his. See, when you got Gordon Hayward, you didn't know those other guys was going to step up to be as good as they were when you got a Gordon Hayward. So now he's just like another guy that does the same thing. You don't have nobody on that team that could do what Tristan Thompson could do. Nobody.
Right.
Like you had that guy.
I am not disagreeing with one thing you said because I agree with. Matter of fact, my biggest issue with the Celtics was Brad Stevens' substitution pattern. It used to drive me up the wall. But I'm digressing. I'm getting ready to go.
You still got Marcus.
That's all I care about. All right. So the Lakers ended up keeping Marcus. Speaking of Marcus, they ended up keeping one of the Morris brothers. So I think with Morris brothers there, with the way they doing some stuff, I think you got the Lakers that the Lakers are doing some stuff. But you got the Golden State. They had a huge injury. The injury now, whether or not that they are going to replace that. At first, they were going after Bogdanovich, but he just signed a 4-year deal with Atlanta. So, Talent, do you think that the Golden State Warriors will still get that hot shooter they're looking for and contend and be maybe 1, 2, or 3? Or do you think that's it for them now? Like they'll be lucky if they be the eighth in the AFC. What you think?
Where is Kyle Korver?
I don't even know. I think he retired. I'll double check.
Where's JJ Redick?
JJ Redick, he signed another team with. I'll look it up. He's
you know what I mean? There's a bunch of these guys out there. There's a bunch of these guys out there that's grabbable.
I thought JJ.
Like I would go shopping at the teams like Fig just said. The teams that got 2 or 3 of the same thing. Mm-hmm. And all you need is another spot up shooter. Which is what I think Clay's going to be when he comes back. When Clay comes back, because of that injury, both legs and different legs or whatever, he's that cutting and running around that he do. He used to be like a real light-skinned Reggie Miller the way he come around and picks. Now I think he's gonna get the spot up guy. He's gonna get the spot up Clay. So they just need to find that right now. Go find you somebody. Text Kyle Korver.
Well, considering Clay was running like 4 miles a game, it's gonna be hard to find that dude who could do it just like because
that's done. Them days are done.
Yeah, he can't do all that. Like
he's done. He's done. All that triple pick running around. That's done.
He'll still be a great player, but I don't know if he's gonna be the exact same player he was before the injury. We'll see.
He'll still be great, but he'll be different.
We'll see. Faye, what your thoughts?
Man, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you what I heard, and I don't know how true it is. Maybe it's just one of those crazy things that you see on social media. I heard they was interested in James Harden.
Who? Golden State?
Golden State. Now, if Golden State pick up a James,
Golden
you might as well wrap this up, baby. If Golden State get James Harden, you just go ahead and mark them down.
Yeah, but if Golden State gets James Harden, they have to do it in a sign and trade. So who they going to trade the way to get him to do that? And Golden State is not in the position right now where they want to trade anybody. They want to make a run. So I don't think that's going to happen.
I think they can make a run. I know they're not getting rid of Steph. You're not getting rid of Draymond. You know what I mean? You're not getting rid of that big center that you just picked up, Weissman.
You got to get somebody. You got to get somebody.
They got a bunch of dudes on the bench, man. If James Harden really wants out of Houston, they got a bunch of dudes on the bench and some money.
Trade the coach.
All right, well, we got to get ready to go. I just want to leave
it already.
The first black officiating crew is going to be working tonight on the Monday Night Football game. First ever all black refs. I'm going to be looking to see that. So we get the Rams versus the Buccaneers tonight. That's going to be an historic moment. But since we got to roll out here and get ready to roll up the show, Talents, everybody out there, how they can follow you, please.
All black officiating crew. This game going to start mad late. You can catch me on Twitter at It's Just a Comedy, Talent the Comedian on IG, and King Talent Harris on Facebook. Man, I'm not going to the bar till 9:30. This game ain't gonna be on time. All black.
Hey, Talent, their Wi-Fi will work though. Fake.
Okay, you laughing, Frank? You think he was missing stuff around the house earlier?
Yo, tonight is gonna be the Soul Train. Yes, it is, baby. You can see your boy Fig at all social media platforms and Comedian Fig. Hell, man, I might go to the bar and have a wing and see what Tom Brady is gonna do.
You ain't going to no bar. You ain't going to no bar. Stop lying. You gonna be
I go by there. Listen. I go by the bar, man, and get wings and a Coca-Cola and a water on the beach.
Hey, yo, every call, this is an all-black officiating crew. Every flag, every call, I see this, Nick. Hit the little microphone. Holding. Pass to the front. 5 yard. Automatic. First down. I'm telling you. It's going to be a
comedy. Hey,
yo, man, you know this is disrespectful. I hate to see a bunch of black men on the field wearing black and white stripes, looking like prisoners.
I'm gonna leave you with that one. That's a good one. We gotta thank Chicago for joining the show. Mr. Anthony C. Hall, thank you for him. Rodney Perry will be back tomorrow. Stacks, checking the facts for Stacks will be back sometime this week. Hopefully not after Wednesday, because Thursday is Thanksgiving. We won't be here at Thanksgiving, and we might not be here Friday. We gotta discuss that amongst ourselves. But anyway,
hey, keep it real. Stacks in jail?
No, not You're watching us on the channel called the Humorville. Make sure you please tell a friend, download the app, and even if you can, call your service provider and tell them to add the channel. Until then, we'll see y'all tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 1 to 2. I'm Frank.
He should have told Anthony to call his service